Start recording with the Wallace, and I'll bet you he blows a mile back when I launch him. But I'm going to attempt it anyway, so we're recording. So let's see if he can launch. I'm here in Gretna today, and I'm parked up. Where am I parked up? What's the name of the place? I've just been in for a nice cup of tea and a bit of shortbread. It's the Old Toll Bar Cafe. That's where I am parked today. And I'm here not at Gretna Green, but in Gretna. So the Old Toll Bar is, as it says here, the first house in Scotland. It's the first house when you cross the English border. It's the first house that you'll come across in Scotland, and it's very, very windy today. So I probably haven't picked the best day to do what I'm about to attempt to do. And that is start a series of videos that will be a drone's eye view of the entire coast of Scotland. Now, this project will probably take approximately 6 months to complete. So no matter when I start it, I'm going to encounter weather that is probably not the best for drone flying. However, it doesn't really matter in Scotland when you come out, no matter what the forecast is. It could be raining or snowing, or the sun could be shining good enough for you to go to the beach, and all of those different weather events can happen in one day. But the river that you see there, and I believe that's the River Esk. If it's not, I'll correct it later on in the edit. But that is the river where the border between Scotland and England runs. Once you cross that river from this side to the other, you're in England. And if you cross over to this side, you're in Scotland. So, if I'm going to be making a video that is covering or attempting to cover the entire coastline of Scotland, then this is the place to start, at the England-Scotland border, where the coastline starts. So I'll be walking down as far as I can, and this river, which I think is the River Esk, leads to what I think is the Solway Firth. And I spoke to a lovely lady, Janet, in at the toll bar, the toll house there, wherever it was, who told me how to get down here. And she said there was a path, and I suppose you could call this a path. In Scotland, this is as good a path as you get sometimes. In fact, it's a better path than you get a lot of the times. So I'm pretty much walking along the border of Scotland and England at the moment. So this is the very first part of the coastline of Scotland here that you're looking at. The River Esk, I think. So you can tell that I've done all my research and I know the names of all the features and places here, that I am starting out with this fairly momentous, in my opinion, task, which I don't know whether I'm going to be able to complete it all. Hope you can hear me with this wind or not. And today I had planned to come here with the idea that I would walk as far down as I can here along the river and then put my Mavic 3, the Wallace, up to continue on the journey up, heading north up the coast. Now the weather forecast did say strong winds, but I didn't quite count on the winds being quite this strong. However, the Mavic 3 is a mighty beast, and strong winds shouldn't deter him from taking at least a bit of a flight. Now, I may not fly as long as I had hoped, or as far as I had hoped, and certainly not as high as I had hoped, but I can get a bit of a flight in, I'm sure. So this is the path along the Solway Coast, and it does go down there in the distance to what I believe is the Solway Firth. And I'm going to walk, as I said, just as far as I can. Up over a stile. Yeah. And the wind is actually so strong that it's whipping about. It's whipping the camera about on the gimbal. As you can probably see, the gimbal is under quite a bit of strain with this wind, just to try and keep things stable. Oh, we're getting close, and when I get to the point down at the end here where the river opens up, that's when I'll decide for sure whether the Wallace is going to be flying today. I can tell you that the very strong wind isn't a very strong wind. It's an incredibly strong wind. That's what the weather forecast should have said. Give me a bit more heads up. And the wind is blowing from north to south, from Scotland to England. So at least that's good news for the drone, for it means that when I send the Wallace upwards and outwards, he will be flying into the wind, which means when he's coming back, hopefully he comes back, he'll have a tailwind carrying him safely back to my loving arms. Okay, look at this. So there you go. The border is that river right there, the border between England and Scotland. And as we open up here to the estuary of the Solway Firth, I think. Then you have to decide which way do you go. If you're in a boat, you have to decide, do I turn south? Do I turn southward and home to jolly old England? Or do I head north into the wild and dangerous, heathen-filled land of Scotland? No one can make that decision for you. You have to do it yourself. Well, I'm deciding today that I'm heading north into Scotland. Well, I'm staying in Scotland, I'm already in it. So, we leave England behind us. Cheerio border and cheerio England, as we head along the first part of the coast of Scotland, the most southern part of the coast of Scotland, right at the English border. And here's where the rain is starting to come down as Scotland embraces us with all its charm, telling us how welcome we are to be here in Scotland, presenting us with its most beautiful weather to keep us here and keep us coming back if we're not from here. And the wind has changed direction and it's now coming from the west to the east. It's blowing in from across the water where the Isle of Man is situated, somewhere over there. And I don't think I'm going to be able to walk much further up the coast than this. And if I am going to get the drone up, then it has to be now, as the wind is only getting more fierce and stronger and more discouraging. So I'm looking for a likely spot to stop. There's no shelter here, no shelter from the wind whatsoever, as you can see. There's England in the far distance. No shelter for me. So I might as well make my stand here and send the drone, the Wallace, the brave Wallace, let me wipe the cameras, up along another bit of this coastline, probably up to just the point there that I can see and no further. That's where I'll send them and bring them back. So let's get the Wallace out before that wind gets worse and send them up in the air. Okay, so the camera should be steady enough. I'll now retrieve the Wallace from my backpack. If this all goes to pieces, not only will I lose the Wallace, I'm going to be losing this Insta360 X4 as well, which I won't be too happy about. However, you have to do what you have to do. So once we're ready, we'll start recording with the Insta. Woo. Start recording with the Wallace and I'll bet you he blows a mile back when I launch him. But I'm going to attempt it anyway, so we're recording. We've got the tripod set up over there. Recording stop now. Right, we're recording. The tripod's set up. So let's see if he can launch. There we are. So he's holding his own. He is holding his own. Just no more. You can see the way he's leaning. So let's get him into sport mode. Send him up that coast. Not too high. Strong wind warning I have here. Aircraft unable to return home automatically. Lower altitude immediately and return to home manually. Okay, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be continuing to fly up this section of the coast. I am confident that the Wallace is capable of holding his own in the wind there. And I must get this part of the coast recorded. And you can see the speed, or you can't see the speed, but I can tell you that the speed here is less than 9 meters a second because of the strong wind that he's having to fly into. And I'm reticent about putting him up much higher for you to take a look at the coast. But what I will do, I'll hover him there and I'll let you have a look out to the east, sorry, to the west, and then down to the south again. That's England away in the distance. And then facing back north again, and you can see how much he has blown off course, but I'll bring him back onto course up along the coast. And he's only up at 20 metres. Not high at all. I'm not taking him much higher than that because of the extremely strong wind. You probably can't see him in the camera, but with my naked eye, he's still visible to me. He's 700 metres out, but he's a big boy, and he's got the Insta X4 attached to him, so I can see him quite clearly. I'm keeping my eye on the battery power. We're at 77%, so that's actually not bad. 76 now. He's doing well. He's handling this strong wind a lot better than I suspected he would. I don't think either Lassie, my Mini 2, or Caledonia, my Mini 3 Pro, or any of your Mini 4s or Mini 5s would be able to handle weather like this. It's just, it would be too much. And if I stop altogether, you can see that he's holding his own there. He's not getting blown off course. A big strong lad. If I turn him inward a little bit, and I'll face him south and fly him backwards. Continue to fly him north. He's having trouble flying that way. He's down to 1 metre a second, so not doing too good there, right? So I'm not going to fly him up much further along the coast. I'll try and take him up to that point, that point, that the natural promenade there that points out. You get slapped with flying leaves here. I'll take him up as far as that. I think that will do us. And I'm going to attempt to take him up just a little bit more. He's up now at 25 metres. But that's about as far up as I'm going to take him because it doesn't like it at all. I'm getting a lot of strong wind warnings here and it doesn't like it. And he's almost at a standstill now, as a matter of fact. I'll need to bring him back down. He's flying along at 2 metres per second, so he's almost at a standstill at that height. There you go. I've got him down now to 10 metres. And at 10 metres, he is flying along at 6 metres per second. Obviously when he comes back, he'll probably be flying in about 50 miles an hour. And battery's now down to 58%. Not too worried about that because the strong headwind that he's flying into will be a great tailwind to bring him back. You're almost up at that promenade now, that natural promenade. When I get to there, I'll turn round. I'll have a look up the coast from that point, but that's where I'll turn the Wallace around and bring him back. He's hardly moving at all now. I'll bring him down a little bit to get his speed back up so he can continue to move northwards. The battery's now at 49%, so this promenade is the farthest I'm going to take him. Once again, he's almost at a standstill. 13 metres high he is, so he's very low to the ground, but he's only travelling along at 6.8 metres a second. But here we are, we're reaching the point of the promenade here, the natural promenade. It's the furthest I'm going to take him. And the next time I come out, I'll probably start the flight from this point right here, because it does look like there is some kind of a path that I can get to this point by walking along. That looks like a path I can probably walk along to get to here. So there we go, the rest of the coast heading north up that way. And in the next video, this is where I'll be flying from here, continuing on up the north and along the coast. So heading the Wallace back now, and immediately you can see how much faster he is. There he's at 17 metres per second straight away, and he's hearing it back at an unbelievable pace, flying back down that coast, 17 metres per second, with that tailwind helping him all the way. 17.3 miles per second, meters per second, miles per second. You've got a rocket going to Mars. 17.3 meters per second he's travelling at now. Safe and sound with the Insta still intact, would you believe? So let me get right away over there now. Right, line up with that, turn around, look at me, come a bit closer, go too close. Right, so that's it, that was the first part of the coast of Scotland, where it starts at the England-Scotland border and travels north, obviously. In the next episode, hopefully I'll be starting the flight and the walk from where I left off this one, up at that natural promenade that sticks out. Hopefully it looked like there was some kind of path that I may be able to walk along to get there and start my flight from there. So that'll be next week probably. I intend to make one of these every week, and over the next 6 months hopefully I'll have covered the entire coast of Scotland all the way around to Berwick. If this is of interest to you, give us a thumbs up and share the video please. Let your friends, family, colleagues know that there is this series of videos happening, and if they want to see the coast of Scotland from the air and maybe a wee bit of footwalk and maybe even a wee bit of interaction with some of the local people and seeing some of the local spots near the coastline all the way around, any interesting spots, I might go and visit some of those too. Thanks for watching. If you stayed to the end of the video, you're an absolute legend. If you didn't, you won't be hearing what I'm saying now. So there you go. Thanks very much. Cheerio with the new. In the last episode, I was at Gretna, the England-Scotland border, and I walked down along the River Sark, which is the England-Scotland border. And I flew my drone along the channel of the Esk, which is the first part of the Scottish coastline. In this episode, I've come to the tiny hamlet of Coastline. Really beautiful little village. If you can even classify it as a village, it's so small. and I'm going to fly along this coastline here towards Southerness. Very interesting thing for me about Coastline is this is where the River Nith flows into the Solway Firth. And that's interesting to me because the River Nith starts its journey right outside my front door, back in Ayrshire. So it's interesting that this journey along the entire coastline of Scotland will include where the Nith ends and flows into the Solway Firth, eventually joining the Irish Sea and eventually joining the Atlantic Ocean. So I can hear there are some seabirds out there making a wee bit of a noise. I don't know what kind of seabirds those are over there. If there are any, is it ornithologists among you? Maybe you'll be able to identify them. I have no idea what they are. All I know is that I do not want to disturb them, so I'm probably going to... Whoa. This gimbal is quite difficult to operate. So I am going to be walking along a wee bit until I'm quite a distance away from those birds, whatever they are, before I launch my DJI Mavic 3, the Wallace, and continue his journey along the coastline of Scotland, starting this week from Coastline.
The tide rolls in, say quiet and slow, silver on the Solway where the soft winds blow. Hey, the sea's at peace, the no whispering tales of a sky so blue. And I wander by the shoreline, bare feet in the cold sand free, listening to the seabirds crying, singing ancient harmony. By the lighthouse glow, keeping sailors safe frae harm, shining through the darkest night, a guide and faithful charm. The seabirds will abuse me, with their wings say wide and free, picking cockles, mussels, stories frae the heart of Scotland sea. The dunes lie quiet, wrapped in gold, where gulls cry out like tales of old. The waves kiss softly at my feet, as if the sea remembers me, and the wind says, hold your heart light, let the worries drift a while. with kindness, where the sun meets mist and law. By the lighthouse glow, keeping sailors safe frae harm, shining through the darkest night, a guide and faithful charm. And the seabirds will abuse me, with their wings sail wide and free, picking cockles, mussels, stories frae the heart of Scotland's sea. Let the water hum its lullaby, let the moonlight paint the sky. By the lighthouse glow, it guides us home again, through the hush of evening waves and the soft caress of rain. And the seabirds still they dance here, where the world feels wild and free. A wee reminder that we're part of Scotland's soul and Scotland's sea.
So welcome to part 3 of my video series, Scotland's entire coastline from a drone's eye view. I ended part 2 at the Southerness Lighthouse last week. So that's where I'm picking up from today, flying from the Southerness Lighthouse along the next part of Scotland's coastline. It's a very bright sunny winter's day. sun being low. So if you find yourself glancing in the wrong direction, it can almost blind you. And driving here took me about an hour longer than I expected, as I had to drive really slowly because it was hard to see driving south and pretty much right into the low bright sun made it a bit precarious. We're going to find a nice point. I think it's called Castle Point, which is about half a mile along this trail here. And there's also a grave site that's marked. It's Nelson's grave, but it's not Lord Admiral Nelson that you might expect, but another Nelson. And although Nelson, the Lord Admiral Nelson, is buried where he died, the Nelson at this grave site was buried here. So it's a beautiful little walk this, along this nice wee coastal trail that's easy for you to follow. And if you feel like you fancy a wee walk, it's not hard. You might need maybe some Gore-Tex boots. Don't come out in training shoes or shannies or plimsolls or slippers, right? Come out with boots. Maybe Gore-Tex boots in case you have to go splashing a wee bit through some mud or some water. But it's a fine walk right on the coast here. And there are markers along the way to keep you on the right path so that you don't get lost. There's a few beautiful big houses sitting down here. Wouldn't it be nice to have a win in the lottery and be able to own a house down here right on this wee coastal walk with your own private jetty, so you can send your yacht down into that estuary. Man, you can always dream. maybe in my next life, if I'm really good in this one, I'll be given a bit more luck and be able to afford a place like that. So as I said, it's well marked all along the way, so you can't get lost following this wee coastal walk. And from where I started to where I want to get to, Castle Point, I think it is, it's only half a mile along this wee trail. Although having said that, the path now diverges, and do I go up this way or do I go down this way? I don't know. I don't think it's this way because the trail seems to run out here and stop. Although this may be a very good point to start my drone flight from. So let's go up and have a wee look, just to see. It's not bad. It's not a bad spot here. And I could start the flight here, I suppose. But I really want to get a bit further round, maybe closer to Castle Point and the Nelson's grave. So I'll have a look at that the path that goes the other way, which I think is following the coastal route properly. Right, so let's follow the coastal trail. Now that we've got the camera mounted on the gimbal, things might be a bit better. and I've noticed that the wind has picked up quite a bit while I was messing about there for the past 10 minutes, just trying to get the gimbal to balance properly. But we'll continue along the coastal trail, and here is Nelson's grave, as I was describing it earlier. And there it is, and it's Joseph Nelson, who in my opinion is just as important as any admiral or lord. Right, so with that being Nelson's grave there, then we must be about as close to the point where I want to launch as I can possibly be. Right. So where to now? And the sun's shining right in my eyes, so it's not absolutely clear where I'm going. If I just keep following the path, then I should get to a good spot soon. If I can find a bit that's quite high up, that would be good too. And I am on a rise at the moment, heading upwards, so that's good. I just don't know what's at the top. So there's quite a good sight there. And we're getting close to the spot, we're getting close to the spot where I'm going to launch the drone, but it is a bit windy today. So I'm going to be careful and probably keep them quite low. And even the gimbal is getting some judders there as I try to turn it, which tells me that the wind is getting pretty high. That's probably Castle Point. So this is probably where I'm going to launch from and pick up the flight from where I left off last week at Southerness Lighthouse, which is just down there. Right, let's have a look and see what this is. This is Castle Point. Site of ancient fort and settlement dating from circa 400 BC, occupied for nearly 2,000 years. And this point here was erected in 1982.
From Southerness the lantern gleams, guiding ships through weathered dreams. And I rise abune the shoreline, steady, slow. The sands stretch wide in tawny gold, stories whisper, tales untold, where the Solway turns its secrets to the flow. And the wind sings, I carry in echoes of days gone by. Oh, the tide waves, oh, the Solway, where the water meets meets the sky, and the ghost of smugglers linger when the moon is riding high. I'm flying over memories that the sea will never tell, from Southerners to Castle Point, where the quiet shadows dwell. Castle Point comes into view, cliffs of ochre heather hue, and the rocks that lead to Rough Island lie exposed. A causeway built of mussel shells, hear them crack beneath their spells, as the sea retreats, its restless heart half closed, and the wind keeps time like a drumbeat o'er the brine. Oh, the tide waves o'er the Solway, where the water meets the sky, and the ghosts of smugglers linger when the moon is riding high. I'm flying over memories that the sea will never tell, from Castle Point to Rockcliffe shore, where a quiet story fell. Beside the path you'll find a grave worn bare by rain and time. Joseph Nelson, sailor bold, lost upon a winter's cold, washed ashore months too late, laid to rest by fate's own weight. We a stone his widow raised, so his name would I be praised. So the tide waves o'er the Solway, where the past still holds its claim, and the wind across the water whispers softly, oh, his name. Oh, the tide waves o'er the Solway, rolling silver, rolling white, Frae Southerners to Rockcliffe, I can hear the turning tide. Every wave's a memory, every breeze a farewell sigh, and the Solway keeps its stories 'neath the ever-changing sky. I glide up you the coastline, let the shoreline lead me home, where the sea and sky together write the stories of their reign.
There's Rough Island just ahead. It's a tiny tidal island and a protected bird sanctuary. It's peaceful, remote, and easy to miss unless you know what you're looking for. One of the most interesting features is the tidal causeway that links it to the mainland. It's not a man-made path at all. It's formed from rocks, cockle shells, mussel shells, centuries of tide and current slowly building a walkway. At low tide you can cross it on foot, but when the sea comes in, the whole thing disappears completely beneath the water. It's a brilliant reminder of how quickly this coastline changes. In one moment there's a clear route straight out to the island, and a couple of hours later it's gone, swallowed by the Solway again. The island itself sits quietly in the middle of the firth, left mostly to the seabirds and the wind. For such a small place, it adds a real sense of character to this part of the coast.
a wee wild outpost shaped entirely by the tides.
By Rockcliff's shore, the morning glows. A hush across the firth that only sea winds know. And rough island waits, say still, say small. A quiet wee haven by the water's call. The causeway shines with shells and stone, a path the tide will claim as its own. And I wander with the whispers o'er the sea, as the Solway keeps its history. Oh, lead me on where the tides rise and fade, where the gulls cry aye and the memories draw. From rough island's peace to the wide open bay, we'll follow the shoreline, the long gentle way. For the journey's no done and the coast carries on. Frae Rockcliffe to Horse Isles, the tide sings its song. And onward we'll fly through the wind and the light, till Almernus Point greets the end of the night. The mussel shells crack soft beneath, where the causeway fades to the water's teeth. And the island heaves, we a breath say slow. Garden birds in the heather's glow. Then back across the sands I roam. Rockcliffe's cottages calling me home, but the horizon beckons wide and clear. For the next stretch of shoreline is drawing near. Oh, lead me on where the tides rise and fade, where the gulls cry aye and the memories draw. From rough island's peace to the wide open bay, we'll follow the shoreline, the long gentle way. For the journey's no done and the coast carries on. Frae Rockcliffe to Horse Isles, the tide sings its song. And onward we'll fly through the wind and the light, till Almernus Point greets the end of the night. There's a hush in the firth and a shimmer o' gold, where stories lie hidden, unbroken, untold. And the waves they aye whisper, come wander again. So I follow the tide like an old trusted friend. Oh, lead me on where the shoreline bends, where every new bay is a place that mends. Frae rough islands calm to the cliffs far beyond, we're bound to the coast by a wanderer's bond. And as long as the Solway keeps turning in time, we'll chase every headland, every curve, every line, till Horse Isles Bay and Almernus gleam like a waking dream at the edge of the sea.
In last week's episode, we flew from Southerness Lighthouse up over Castle Point, then over Rough Island,
where you could see the tidal causeway that is formed by the tide using rocks and mussel shells and cockle shells. And if the tide is low enough that you can actually see it and walk across it. But when I came out this week to film this episode, I came out a wee bit later on in the afternoon and the tide was higher and so the causeway had vanished. It was under the water, and not only could you not walk on it, you couldn't even see it.
In today's episode, we're going to start from Rough Island and continue our flight up the coast. Alright then, how you doing? You okay?
Yeah, not too bad.
That's a bit of a climb up there.
Oh, it's knackering walking. It's worse when you can see it in day. It's not so bad at night coming off, but when you can see what you've got to come up,
Aye.
not good.
Field then, right?
Aye.
Aye, you didn't take the shortcut up that part.
Shortcut? Shortcut? Tell me about this because I've got to get back.
See the gate there,
Uh-huh. You can
Turn
get
left.
down there.
takes you right down to town.
Oh, the tide rose in on a rough island shore, where the causeways lost and shown no more, and the whispers rise from the days of yore. Mind the smugglers, oh Heston Bay, past the horse isles foam and the white horse sand, where the sailors' bones still mark the strand, and the lantern swung by a smuggler's hand guided shadows through the gloaming grey. Sing hey ho, the wind did blow, carrying tales frae long ago. Ships at anchor hurts a stone, running the coast where the tide has flown. Hey ho, let the old wind say there's smugglers still in Heston Bay. Over Almerney's Point, where the gulls take flight, they watch for sails in the fading light, and the Queen's men chased in the dead of night. But the smugglers slipped out like spray by the Heston fire, and the lighthouse beam lies every wreck and every dream, where the tide runs hard like a restless stream, and the old sea sings where the deed men live. Sing hey ho, the wind did blow, carrying tales frae long ago. Ships at anchor hurts of stone, running the coast where the tide has flown. Hey ho, let the old wind say there's smugglers still in Heston Bay. Oh, the tide hides paths and the tide reveals, but a smuggler kens how the dark conceals, and the sea keeps truth under iron seals, till the waves give whispering stories way. Sing hey ho, the storm winds know every secret hid below, from rough isle stones to Valkyrie's foam, every mariner far from home. Hey ho, let the bold wind say there's ghosts of gold in Heston Bay. Heston Bay.
Welcome to episode 5 of this series, the entire coastline of Scotland from a drone's eye view. To get to this location, I'm having to walk down this private road here, so it's not as if it's going to tax me or hurt my health. It's a cold one today and it's quite windy, but this is the kind of day I was hoping for, because what I'm going to be filming as part of today's episode, or as part of this week's episode, is a feature called the Devil's Bridge. It's a natural rock structure that looks like a wee bridge, and although I flew over it in episode 4 and you get to see it from a distance, I thought I'd come down here to get a closer look, just to see what it's like close up. And I've picked a time when the tide is going to be quite high, so hopefully we'll get some waves crashing up onto the Devil's Bridge.
The Solway lies still like it's holding its breath, soft as a whisper at dawn. Barefoot I wander, we sand at my feet, and the peace of the tide rolling on. Sky like a blessing, the white summer blue, nay sound but a curlew's we cry. Who'd ever think that this quiet kind coast could change in the blink of an eye? Oh, so sweet, so gentle and fair, you cradle the shore in your soft summer air. Oh, so sweet, so steady and kind, you soothe the weary heart and settle the mind. But a hush turns to shiver, the light starts to fade. The blue turns to shadow, the skies gather gray, a roar rises up from the bed. White-topped breakers come crashing the rocks as the wind tears the calm clean away. My hair's in a frenzy, my frock pulled aside, the seas at my heels as I run. One moment a postcard of peace and a light, the next a storm where no soul can outrun. Oh, so wild, so rage and you roar.
and slippy. Right, so the flying's done. Let's just take a wee walk up here and see if we can get a visual look at the bridge. As it's just round this bend here. And there it is right there. Whew. The rain's starting to come down now, and it won't be long until the lenses of the camera are covered in water. Probably are already. So before it starts coming down in buckets, I think I'll try and head back. And the boulders here are covered in moss or algae, making it quite slippy. However, made it in one piece. There's a wee cave up there as well. Might as well go and have a wee look into the start of this cave.
With a break all day, there stands a bridge carved by sea and stain, nameth of its own, yet it whispers like wine, and the gulls cry high as the waters sigh, like they can an old tale drifting by. Oh, the devil once bargained for a soul at a bridge far from here in the Welsh Green Ridge. He carved his span with a single stroke for the first living creature the pact invoked. But a clever old wife had a wiser mind. he'd claim, but a faithful weed dug crust and spilled his game. Aye, the deal was cheated, or so they say, and the old woman laughed as he stormed away. Maybe Rascal's Arch is nae legend of fear, but I swear if you stand there, the story comes near. In the hiss of the foam and the pull of the tide, you can hear the deal mutter at be and denied. Oh, the bridges we walk and the choices we make and the bargains we're offered, the sea can't take. So I'll sing this tale where the Solway meets sky, of a devil outsmarted and a dug running by, and the waves roll on as they always may, past the Devil's Bridge o'er Rascal Bay.
Well, I think that'll do me for one day. So we saw the Devil's Bridge. Not a massive feature, just a wee thing, but interesting nevertheless. So next episode we'll be continuing further along this coastline. So thanks for watching this one. Give it a wee thumbs up if you're enjoying the series. Leave a comment letting me know what you think about the series so far, and you can tune in next week to the next episode. Cheerio with it now. So in last week's episode we took a look at Rascal Bay and the Devil's Bridge, and we flew along the coast a little bit just until before this point here. And the reason that I stopped last episode where I did is because this is MOD land here, and I hadn't contacted the range officer to find out if there was any live firing on or not last week. So I didn't want to fly into the area in case there was some live firing going on. But this week I did phone the range officer to ask if there was any live firing going on at Kirkcudbright Training Centre, and he said there was live firing from Tuesday right through to Friday. So I thought, well, that's not good news. I can't get down and fly if there's live firing going on. But then Storm Bram came in, and I think that changed things a bit. So I came down here and the red flag isn't flying, which normally would mean that there's no live firing going on. And I don't see any activity at the moment. There was a wee vehicle with an orange light flashing and a couple of guys a few minutes ago. There it's there, just at the top of the hill. So I don't know who that is, and I don't know what they're doing. But because there are no red flags flying, I am going to take a walk out across the range and see if I can get to the point where I can start my filming. And if the guys in the vehicle approach me and tell me that it's not safe to be on the land, then obviously I'll come back off of it until the live firing, if there's any, is finished. Because the range officer said that it was live firing up until 4 o'clock, but that's only when the red flag's flying, and the red flag isn't flying just now. And I think that's because Storm Bram probably changed that, and they maybe cancelled this week's exercises because of the storm. However, I'm sure I'll find out, and these fine military gentlemen will tell me in no uncertain terms whether I'm allowed to be here or not at the moment. There's no indication that says I can't be here, and that's why I'm coming on to the land. As an ex-soldier myself, I understand the dangers that there are in coming into an MOD area where there is an exercise going on, and particularly a live firing exercise. So I'm not wandering about here ignorant of the possibilities. Did I just hear a crack there? I may have heard a crack. I'll walk on. If I hadn't contacted the range officer and had just come down here on spec, then because the red flag isn't flying, I would naturally assume that there isn't anything going on here. And I'd be quite right to assume that too. So I can't really be held to account if I am on the land when there's a live firing exercise going on. It's they should have the red flag flying, and they should have a sentry in the box preventing anyone from coming onto the land. But because there's no sentry and no red flag flying, then I think I'm safe to assume that there is no live firing happening today. It's going to be an interesting flight, this one, because although Storm Bram has gone, we still have the very tail end of it here. As you can see with the clouds in the sky, they're moving fairly fast. There is a bit of a wind here at ground level, so I can imagine that the wind up high will be quite fast. The weather report said 24 miles per hour winds, and I'm safe to take the Mavic 3 up to 27 mile per hour winds. As you can see there, there's definitely a bit of activity going on, so I'll stay to the edge of the area here rather than walking straight across. And if the chaps have anything they want to tell me, I'm sure they'll let me know. But actually I want to be up there at that point, that high point, to launch where they are just now. But I don't want them to think I'm coming up and filming them or anything. So if they do approach me, or if I approach them, their position, I'll be turning the camera off to have the conversation with them, for obvious reasons. You know, if they're military boys, they're not wanting to be filmed with some clown with a YouTube channel, whether he's ex-military or not. I don't know if they've seen me or yet, not seen me or not yet. They may have done, and they might just be ignoring me, or they may not yet have seen me, and I hope I don't give them a wee fright when they do. There's some swans there for you ornithologists. Those are white swans with orange beaks, and they're wearing sunglasses. Dark sunglasses. Two swans and a cygnet. That's a baby swan for all you non-ornithologists. Right, I want to get up to higher ground here because I need to be able to have visual line of sight of the drone, and I'm not sure I'll have it from down here when I send them out over the coast. So I will need to head up to, well, I'll see where this track takes me. It might take me to a point, it's taking to me a point that I can see the coastline where I'm going to be flying along, so that's fine. The boys have stopped moving. Maybe they've spotted me now and they'll come along and have a wee word. I might keep the recording going until or unless they ask me to stop. I may let them know that I'm recording and ask if it's okay with them. Although I don't think they're interested in me. You'll be able to see behind me just now that I can't see, so I don't know what they're doing, but they don't seem overly concerned that I'm out here. And I'm getting close probably to the point where I'm going to be launching this flight for episode 6 of the entire coastline of Scotland from a bird's eye view. No, episode 6 of the entire coastline of Scotland from a drone's eye view. And I may have to depart from the edge of the training area soon, now in fact, to get to a point where I can ensure that I'm going to have visual line of sight of the drone when I launch it. Now this may be a very short flight because with the wind as high as it is down here at ground level, and it's going to be at least double that speed at 50 metres up. So if I feel that it's getting a bit too much for the drone, I will land it. Look over there, you see that's the point from episode 4. That's Balcony Bay off in the distance there, the high point. So although we're not moving far between episodes, maybe 5 to 7 miles, that's the only way I can ensure that I'm going to get the entire coastline, or as much of it as I possibly can, captured by drone. There are some parts of the coastline that are going to be either extremely tricky to film or impossible, and I'm thinking about Faz Lane, for example, the submarine bay, nuclear submarine base. That has a high flight restriction zone around it, and I may not be able to fly it there, and there's a couple of other areas on the way around, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But this is looking like a nice spot. I can see the coastline all the way from here. This is looking like a good spot to fly at, even though the wind is quite strong. So I'm going to fly up there over that point, and from there, on the other side of that little, what would you call it, peninsula I suppose, is Rascaro Bay. Just on the other side of that. That point there was as far as we flew to in the last episode. So this episode will be flying from there along this part of the bay. I had planned to fly out to the island there and have a look at the lighthouse, but with this wind I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing that. I may just fly up the coast a little bit towards Kirkcudbright, and I think it's St Mary's Isle which is up there. So I may as well just get the drone out now and see how bad that wind is up at 50 metres.
Out past the light o' the last safe shore, where the water turns to blue, the deep, deep sea keeps older tales than any chart we knew. It hums below the creek, or hums below the gull's last cry. A breathing world, oh shadowed calm, where broken timbers lie. The sea makes no distinction, no matter flag or name. From buccaneer to battleship, it claims them all the same. No crown, no rank, no righteous cause can buy a gentler sleep. For the deep, deep sea is patient still, and it covets all it keeps. There's gold that never met the sun, guns that never roared, and letters sealed in sailors' chests no hand has touched since shore. They went below in different years to different drums and calls, but silence treats them equal now beneath the tidal walls. Hey, the sea makes no distinction, no matter creed or name. From cutlass blade to iron plate, it takes them all the same. No prayer outruns the closing tide, no steel is ever deep. For the deep, deep sea is patient still, and it covets all it keeps. Some sailed for coin, some sailed for king, some never chose at all. Some chased the wind for freedom's sake, some answered duty's call. Yet side by side they lie at rest, where lanterns never gleam. Their last known course dissolved at last into the endless scene. So lower voices, slow the oars, and let the The sea remembers every soul it ever drew to sleep, and holds them not in anger now, but in the dark, still deep. Hey, the sea makes no distinction, no matter age or name. From buccaneer to battleship, it claims them all the same. We sail above their quiet bones, while stars their watch still keep. For the deep, deep sea is patient still.